Welcome to Hey Dad Podcast. Real dads, tough issues, and a genuine love for a fatherless generation.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is the Hey Dad Podcast. I'm Rick Rivera.
Chris Lawler here. Sorry, I'm in denim overload right now. But I just love this jacket. It just happens to go with my pants. So
There you go.
But I know I'm creating a visual thorn in the eye, right?
It's a bit 70s-esque,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool, though, like Billy Jack.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Man, where's my freaking Billy Jack hat?
You want to see a cool movie, guys? Look up Billy Jack. You'll get a feel for the taste of the 60s, early 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, hey, guys, today we want to talk about Valentine's Day.
Which right as we speak, that's what, 2 days away?
2 days away.
So, yeah, we're doing this on a Monday. It's going to come on a Wednesday.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good because Valentine's Day is also just reflective of relationships, gift giving in relationships, expressions of love. So there, I think there's a lot to just talk about.
Well, the punch of it is that because there is a Valentine's Day, whatever the state of your relationship comes to a head on that day, it gets really revealed because all the pressure, all the focus goes on it. So it's really hard to sweep things under the rug or to pretend everything's okay, because when Valentine's hit, you got to show up, one way or the other, and it's brutal. It's one of the most difficult days for men, and it's one of the most anticipated days for women.
And you know what, too? The other side of that coin, if you don't have a Valentine,
right?
It kind of like brings to light. Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe it's got to be number one. Number two would be New Year's Eve. If you don't have somebody to be making out with on New Year's Eve, that's very exposing.
Yeah.
But Valentine's Day is the killer.
Valentine's Day.
In fact, a lot of my friends, it's Saint Valentine, right? So he's supposed to be a saint. Okay. If we find this guy in heaven, we're all going over there and we're going to beat the crap out of him for what he put us through.
Yeah, you put a lot of stress. But, from that, too, it can also be very sweet, very nice, very warm. So
we got some hacks.
Yeah.
But we also use Valentine's Day as a can opener to open a whole lot of different issues about relational life.
Yeah. How do you choose a gift for someone? Do you go down this old stereotypical norms? Do you overdo it? Do you underdo it? And we'll talk about it, but I think underdoing it's a huge problem. Okay, well, let's jump right into this. Can you overdo it on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Can you?
Well, in so far as whatever you do on a Valentine's Day sets the bar for the next Valentine's Day.
True.
And if you don't come just as strong, you can't be seen taking it a couple of notches down.
That's true.
Because it creates issues.
Then you love me less this year because you didn't hit that mark you've set last year. Yeah.
All right, let's break it down to the simplest component. Valentine's is about getting a Valentine, a card that is written, some kind of love, something for somebody.
Yeah.
Now, that's a big problem if you don't have a relationship, and we're going to talk about that. But say you do have one, but you're one of these people that I don't like to write. I don't know what to write. I get a Valentine's, so like, what am I supposed to put in that thing?
Yeah.
Here's a hack. Hack number one, right? You go buy the best Valentine you can find, right? Get it, open it up, then pull another Valentine. Doesn't matter which one. Pick it up, and whatever it says in that Valentine, write in this Valentine.
Yeah, there you go.
From you.
That's funny. But it's funny, it's been my experience that the biggest appreciation comes from what you write in the card.
Yes.
Don't just sign your name in there. I would highly recommend, like you're saying, if it's a hack of stealing the other card, but highly recommend you put something in there, something that shows her you're thinking about her.
Yeah, otherwise it's a punch in the eye.
Yeah.
That means, all you did is you went by, the drugstore. Oh, we got to get a card because otherwise I'm in trouble.
Right.
And just whip your name in it. Done. Right. I'm out of trouble. For me, I don't even look at what the card says. I look for what the person wrote.
Yeah.
I'm married, so I'm looking for what my wife
Right.
would write. And I'll tell you, we've kind of been in trouble spots in different years. Because, you can't always guarantee that everything's going hunky-dory just because it's February 14th.
Right.
A lot of times, February 14th comes on the heels of the biggest fight you had.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, and my wife is not feeling so great, but she is obligated to show up and give me a Valentine, right? Well, there's sometimes that hasn't happened, or I just get the signature.
Right.
And that's been a problem for me.
Yeah.
And you know what I've done is I've actually sat down with Susan and I said, you know what? I didn't make the rule. This thing was here before I was even born. But it's here, and it is a marker for what we mean to each other. So I need to hear from you.
All right.
I don't care what it is you say, go to hell, I can't stand your guts.
Right.
I just need to hear from you.
Yeah.
If you're just throwing a card at me but saying nothing, then I don't want to even acknowledge anything about Valentine's.
What's funny though, Chris, is your perspective is usually like that's the female's perspective. Usually the guy doesn't put enough effort into
Calling
it.
me gay? Is that where we're going?
I did not go there, and I'm not going there. But no.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
yeah, I'm not going to touch that one. But no. But a lot of women feel men like, oh, you got to like you went to the pharmacy and you got a card and a box of candy. Thanks.
yeah,
They want something that really means something.
yeah,
And if you think about it, like from our wives' perspectives, they've given us their youth. They've given us their body making children for us, and they've given us everything. And
True.
and a lot of times guys could be really insensitive about that. And we're trying. It's not that we're not trying. Some guys don't try. If you show up with nothing, dude, you failed. I'm sorry.
That's right.
And if you did that last year, make this year double and apologize for
But
last
that
year.
doesn't mean you have to run down to Zales and buy a diamond ring.
Dumb.
Okay, all those jewelry people that are advertising like crazy right now,
Oh, yeah.
they're trying to take advantage of this guilt
Right,
that you
exactly.
might have.
True.
Because if you can throw enough money at it, and believe me, in their opinion, there is no such thing as enough money.
Right.
Okay, but they think, oh, well, if I have the thing from Jared, then everything will be right. You don't need that, man. The punch is in what you write with your own hand,
Yeah.
your thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, you might not be the biggest poet. You might not have a command of prose, but you got to get a card. You got to go someplace, not on Valentine's Day, a day or two before, like today. Today would be the day.
Yeah.
Go get that card right now. Go find someplace, sit down, and just think.
Yeah.
Just think about her. Think about what she's meant to you. Think about the journey you've taken so far. And be truthful. Think about the bad times that you've survived. And the fact that you're still there, even though you've had bad times.
Yeah.
And you write honestly what's from your heart.
I think the details are the most touching part.
Yeah.
Like generic sayings are kind of overused. But when you say something very specific.
Yeah, recall an incident.
Yeah.
When that was really meaningful, or the fact that she makes your favorite breakfast, and say what that breakfast is.
Yeah.
And say how she does it. That's when she feels like, oh yeah, now I'm being seen and I'm being heard.
I'm appreciated too. Yeah. That's so I pour your heart into it, man. Make it real, make it authentic, put time in it like you're saying. We could be very thoughtless at times. Put time in it. And express your love. Be vulnerable on it even. I think a lot of women thrive off that kind of communication.
And there's almost no way you can blow it.
No, you can't.
If you're writing
honestly.
volumes of words, it doesn't matter what they are almost. As long as it's evidence that you're really pouring your heart in it, that's going to count. But if you say, that's too much pressure, I'm just going to sign my name and let the card do the work.
Right.
It's like,
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad move, man.
That's so true. When I get a card, I rarely look at the writing because I know somebody else wrote it. It's generic. Or if it's funny, it's good. There's a little joke there. But it really means nothing.
Yeah.
It really means nothing. The effort to get it, to do it. And then sometimes a gift could be thoughtful too without even being expensive.
Right.
Like if like your wife's into a new hobby or your girlfriend's doing something, get her something related to that. I know where you're at in life right now.
Yeah.
And this is a nice gift for that. And it doesn't have to be expensive. I tell you, for years, because I managed the facilities, and Valentine's comes, here comes the guys with the flowers to their girlfriends, to their wives, and so many women don't get nothing, and they're watching these other girls get stuff at the office.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an ouch, man. And who knows?
Hurts.
Maybe something nice is going to happen at home. I don't know. But I know there's guys out there who just really, it's just another day.
Once in a while. I mean, I've done that. You don't want to do that all the time because you set that bar, then you're a slave to it. But every once in a while, order flowers to her work.
Right.
Okay. That just hits in a way that every girl thinks someday that's going to happen for me.
Right.
And if that happens for them, they can punch that card knowing that they're loved by their man.
Yep.
That makes a huge difference.
A good one, that's just some ideas right now. A good one would be take some time off work or take an extra long lunch, go pick her up for lunch, make her lunch, and go to a park and eat it for her lunch break.
Yeah.
Or even in the parking lot if she doesn't have that much time.
Yeah.
That means the world. That's a very kind and sweet gesture that I think resonate with women really nicely.
Right.
And I think that would mean a lot. But you kind of got to know her personality, though.
Sure.
You got to, what means love to her? What does she enjoy? For some women, flowers, they're nice. But the letter means everything.
Right. It shows that you're watching her and you're learning her. Every year on Valentine's Day, I have to hit C's Candy. We're in Southern California, and C's is an institution here. Yeah. They are so high a cut above every other candy maker that it's the go-to. If you don't go down with C's, if you show up with Brock's or one of these other, lesser, it just reveals your weakness. But the problem with C's, it's the jewelry store of candy supplies, So I've gone there, and I remember showing up there in the midday on Valentine's Day. The block was, the line came out the store and went around the block.
Wow.
I thought, oh my God.
I'll forget that.
All these guys are in trouble.
Nuts. Yeah.
But she wanted C's.
Yeah.
So I had to do it. So I got in that line, and all the while, it took me a good hour to get into the store. And I'm thinking I came up with a plan. So when I came into the store, the store routes you along all the different selections you can get. And probably the most popular one, aside from the really grand big heart thing, that makes a big showy splash, it's just the simple box of chocolates, So I bought my wife what she wanted, but then I bought 15 other small boxes of chocolate, regular generic ones. I came out, I went to the back of that line, I said, okay,
no, you didn't.
Here they are, man. All you got to do is pay, they were like for $11 at that point. I said, $15, you're out of this line, you're on your way.
I would have jumped at that. That's me.
I sold out.
Yeah.
I sold out, man, and paid for the whole candy.
Wait, but did you brag to Susan about it?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, good. Good. That would have been a blow in, dude. Yeah, don't drop those statements in like, I only got it for $5, or I sold candy, I didn't pay anything. Don't cheapen it. Just be careful with your words.
The irony is, the C's is great. It always hits big. It punches to its weight.
Yeah, it's good.
But my wife loves Good and Plenty. Those little old-time candies.
Yeah.
And so just a little box of Good and Plenty or Red Vines.
Right.
The cheapest throwaway theater candy you could possibly imagine. One of those is worth a whole box of C's candy in its punching weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it shows my care.
You know what,
Shows that I know her, Things, that's just tips to bear in mind.
Too, I would throw it out there. Think about other people. Now, this is a tricky one. I'm not saying buy another woman flowers or candy or a card. But give your mother a card. Give your grandmother a card.
Yeah.
There's some women who really left out in the cold in this season.
Yeah, especially ones that they're not getting it.
Yeah.
I'll give you another story. When my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she got to a certain age, and where she became aware of Valentine's, then it became very difficult for her if she didn't have somebody on a guy in a relationship. So I started. And I kind of regret doing this because it was that thing I set that bar, But I wrote a Valentine's card for her. It was a daughter Valentine's. You can get ones that are just aimed specifically at your daughter or whatever. Yeah. So I got one of those. And I wrote a imaginary Valentine note from her future boyfriend.
Oh.
Okay. So like, I'm waiting for you
awesome.
and I'm looking for you and you'll know me because my heart is pure. And I used all my dad instincts to set a vision in her mind for somebody that would be such a high caliber guy.
Right.
That her heart would be satisfied with the longing, even though she had nobody on the day itself.
Yeah.
And I carried that on for a while until it got to the point where it got pretty awkward. It was like, okay, all right, we need to kind of dial this thing back a little bit or turn the page.
Yeah.
Because again, it's that set the bar thing. Whatever you do, you got to be careful of the bar you're going to set.
That's true. I've had balloons and candy delivered to my daughter at school when she was younger. Part of it is I want her to feel special.
Yeah.
But then I feel bad, man. There's young girls out there, a lot of young girls out there with no dad at all.
Yeah.
Ouch, and so, but let me say this. Think about the other women who it's appropriate.
Yes.
Because it's an intimate thing. You don't if you have a girlfriend or a wife, don't you dare. But you can also downplay it too. Let's say you're in a work environment, you don't have a girlfriend.
Back up. You don't dare what?
Okay. You don't dare give another woman anything similar to what you're giving your wife.
Especially if she's a woman that is kind of like shopping for the same kind of thing
or
that you have with your wife.
If it's the little old lady next door, if it's your aunt, no, different story.
That's completely appropriate.
Talking about another woman.
Yeah, you sniff it out, man.
Yeah.
You're not stupid. You can tell when you're like, this is a little bit out of bounds.
Yep.
And you might even be tempted to go a little out of bounds because sometimes it feels good to make another woman feel good with all the complications that you're dealing with your own relationship. Yeah. So, I see that. True. I acknowledge that. But that's why you have to be aware of that and don't put yourself in that kind of situation.
Okay, now here's something that could be a little more boundaries at work when every time it is Valentine's. I used to always buy my staff candy, the little candies, and, just because. And then I would do ice cream on hot days, so we'd have Sundays.
Yeah.
Right? So I used to do nice stuff like that because you appreciate your staff, you want to keep in good relations. But on Valentine's, I would get like a full candy bar and I'd give it to all the women.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that. I don't want this to turn into something
smart.
creepy. Yeah.
That's smart. If you pick and choose, that makes a completely different statement.
And then when the guys would be like, hey, what about mine? Now you go suck eggs. This is Valentine's Day. I would let them have it, right? Because I want the women to feel special,
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah,
I love that.
But and that's fine, I think. But you got to be careful with that one. But going back to the thing is think about the other women in your life. It's okay, do something nice. If you stop by your aunt's house, let's say she's widowed, and you bring a candy and a card and just say, Aunt, or we say, Tia, I'm stopped by just to say hi, you just made her weep. You know what I mean? It means so much.
Think about your mom.
Yeah.
Even think about your sisters.
Your sisters too, you're right.
There's a place where it kind of starts crossing over and being awkward, but make it not awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make it fun.
Yeah.
Make it something. This is a day that we're going to enjoy celebrating that we love each other.
Yeah.
Not in that way, but just in general.
The way brothers and sisters fight.
Yeah. But that brings us to the other aspect of Valentine's Day is when that day comes rolling around and you don't have anybody, it's very exposing. It is. And that brings right to the front and center the loneliness factor that we're dealing with in this generation.
That's true. It's true. Yeah. It kind of brings to light, well, one, I don't have anyone. And it makes you question a lot of things about yourself. It's challenging. It is lonely. What advice do you have for that?
Well, for one, when Valentine's Day is approaching, everybody kind of makes a public show of their relationship, at least on one level, and that's what all the cards and the candy and the flowers and all that stuff is all about. It's not just to the person you're in love with, but it's showing it to everybody else. See, I'm loving, I am in a relationship. So that's going on. And that's going to be in your face.
Yeah.
It feels like they're throwing that right in your face. And it makes you feel like, how stupid am I? Everybody is in love around me, and I am the only idiot.
Not worth.
They can't figure it out.
Exactly.
I can't get my way there.
Well, I have an idea though.
Yeah.
What about this? Okay, you're on your own this Valentine's, and that's fine. get a group of your friends who are too.
Yeah.
And if you have any female friends, throw them in.
That's a great
Hey guys, come out, hang out down my house. We're gonna play Uno or whatever you're gonna do.
Go bowling, man.
Bowling, yeah. And you could call it anti-Valentines or Suckers Lonely Club, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
And just make a day out of it and make it fun.
Right.
Celebrate it. You're single, and being single is fine. There's a lot of wonderful things about being single too. Celebrate it with other people who are single.
My daughter has been a genius at that because she is the one that will marshal all of her friends to go out on a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band night out somewhere.
See,
then they get past that in style, past that marker.
Do something fun like that, man.
But what having been exposed to the loneliness, we're in a period of time where making and keeping significant relationships has never been harder.
Yeah.
Even though we're more connected than ever with social media, with all the different ways that we communicate with one another, but people are just absolutely freaking isolated.
Community's lost.
Yeah.
So let's say you don't have a girlfriend, that's fine. But even the hanging out with your bros or hanging out with your circle of friends, a lot of community's lost in this younger generation. You guys don't have that. Whereas we probably had it a lot more. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that goes back to, we are trading authentic relationship for a counterfeit relationship. But what does that mean in my mind? That means is you're barely talking. The only friends you talk to are when you're playing video games and you have your headset on. That's really lonely, guys, in my mind.
Yeah.
Also, we're texting, we're blogging, or we're just so into your own, let me throw it out there, smoking pot, porn world. You're not connecting. You're not doing anything. You're not living healthy a life. I think my heartfelt recommendation is to join community. And again, where we come from, guys. It's about life-centered in Christ Jesus. Find it in church. Find community in church. Go make friends. Find a good young adult, good group in church that has that community and join that community.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why they don't do that. It's because it costs to be in real relationship. It's difficult to be in real relationship.
Yeah.
Because you encounter the truth. You rub up against people that don't think the way that you think.
Right.
And when you're in the media world and only relating through social medias or other forms like that, you have the ability to swipe left, swipe right, and just eliminate people that aren't exactly tuned to you. And a lot of times the people that you refine your pool of people down to are people that also want to be left alone, that only want to be known by their social moniker so that they could be completely isolated as well.
It's such a scam, though. Do you ever see the social media information and pictures and things? It's just junk. It's not real. It's really as pseudo, as counterfeit as you can get. Yeah. There's something about, like, sometimes after the taping, we go out and go eat at, I like those moments, man.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
And you can't replace that with a text, because we text and phone call each other too. It's not the same. It's really not the same. So especially if you're young, get a pack with you. Find guys. But then, it's funny. We've had an episode about this, about only surround yourself with good people. Don't be desperate and take bad, because nothing's worse than a bad friend. And find good people. Surround yourself with these good people. And like you're saying, don't invest in them. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost learning how not to argue, to put up with nonsense. It's going to cost helping your friend move out of his apartment, which just totally stinks, driving him into the airport. You're going to have those moments.
Yeah.
There's a cost to it. But that's part of being in a clan. That's part of being in a tribe.
Right, man.
You suffer
and it's
with
so
each other.
worth it.
It's worth it.
It's so worth it. The worst day of moving your buddy can turn into the best night you ever had.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you share that misery together.
Yeah.
You showed up for him. He appreciates how you're one of the guys that actually shows up for him.
Yeah.
And then you celebrate that.
Yeah.
And it lasts for a long time. That one bad move will pay off for a whole year.
Right.
Okay, until the next time he's moving.
Exactly.
And then he's going to look at you again. It's like, are you going to come again? Or did you learn your lesson?
That's another thing off topic. Don't buy a truck. If you buy a truck, every third cousin's going to be asking you to move every weekend. I suffered through that when I was young.
Well, the answer to that is always keep your truck full of crap.
Yeah, full of crap. Or a shell. Something like you say, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh my gosh, that really stinks.
Wow.
No, but join a community, man. Because if you're on your own, that's cool. It's cool to be on your own,
Yeah.
and this is a good season of your life too. And there's wonderful things you could do. But Valentine's kind of brings the spotlight,
Right.
you know. But if you have some friends, pull them together, hang out. If you don't have a friend circle, guys, get one. Get one.
No, there's a lot of other ways to. I mean, we're both men of God. We both have been in church for a long time, and we witnessed how churches are kind of set up for this very need.
Yeah.
To put people together, acknowledging that they have complicated personal lives that sometimes don't mesh well with even one other person within a church.
Right.
But you have Jesus as a common thread that ties you together. And because of that, you can be in the presence of somebody you would normally never even spend a moment with.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Chris, we're different. Where was our common bond? It was church.
Yeah.
You know, we come from two different backgrounds. We come from two different neighborhoods. We come from two different everything. And yet, you know, same thing with Frank.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it brings people together. There's a commonality, but there's also a rules of engagement book. Mm-hmm. The Bible tells you how you handle your relationships with integrity, with love, with kindness, with forgiveness.
I mean, that's so valuable.
It
because
is.
When you form a relationship over golf, or over something that's not that, there's no rule book there.
Exactly.
There's no protocols.
Right.
There's nothing to protect you and define how the relationship goes. Yeah. So that's why those kind of relationships can sometimes just nosedive into the worst areas out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's better to go out golfing with your buddies than to sit home alone.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for that.
So let's put this, what if you move to a brand new neighborhood, different state, and you know nobody?
Yeah.
What steps would you do to find that clan and develop it?
Me?
Yeah.
First thing I do is every Sunday, there are buildings all over the place where people are meeting and they're doing church.
Good church.
I go and hit that.
Yeah.
I go hit it. It may not fit, the first one might not fit me very well.
You may not like it, right?
Yeah. So you go to the next one.
Yeah.
But even the ones that don't fit you, you meet people.
Yeah.
You sit next to people. Sometimes you get invited out for lunch afterwards. So it's still a win.
Yeah.
Even if it's kind of like more like you're a scientist in a duck blind studying an alien species that you're never going to see again. It still wins.
Yeah.
Because you're still with people.
The church is a great start. I like that. There's also women at church. Nothing wrong with that. But one of the things is sometimes church is kind of just the general meeting place. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. Some churches, they don't talk as much. Other churches are all up in your business. But if you really want to get connected, go to the Bible studies.
Yeah.
Go to the men's group.
You get their program and you find out what's going on midweek.
Yeah.
Because it's in those people's homes is where real church is.
Real relationship. That's when it
think about it. What can a church do on Sunday? That's the front porch of the faith.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome to come, and everybody does come, and they hang out, and they have a very superficial, light time.
Yeah, it's a light touch.
They hear a sermon or something. Maybe it's good, maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not. Who knows? And they hear a little bit of music.
Right.
But that's the front porch. You can't live on that.
Yeah.
You can't camp out on somebody's front porch.
Yeah.
You want to go find the way into the back room where the real fellowship is. And that's in the midweek services.
Yeah.
And a lot of times bigger churches will actually have singles groups of various types.
That's really nice too. You may want to meet people. You may want to meet, other people like-minded like you. Go find they have singles. They even have divorce Bible studies for people who suffered through divorce. Yeah. They have a lot of groups. And if that one church doesn't have it, don't give up. There's a lot of churches out there. Make it your weekly field trip, if you will, and go find the one that fits you.
I'll give you a hack. Here's a hack about finding tribe, a shortcut to finding tribe. If you have any experience with alcohol abuse or drug abuse or anything like that, find an AA group or find a Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah.
Something like that. Most churches will be sponsoring these kind of groups.
Right.
And I'll tell you what the power of going to one of those meetings is over going to other ones. People show up there because they know they're broken.
Yeah.
And they expose the brokenness.
There's no fronts.
Yeah. Sometimes you go to a normal Bible study, everybody is putting up their front and their best face, and it feels like everybody's polished marble. There's no way to get in to anybody's life. But you go to a Celebrate Recovery group, sometimes I would even advocate do it if you don't have any problem at all. Because you're going to find real people struggling for life, for what's really meaningful.
Yeah.
And their hearts are going to be much more wide open right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it's not only can they pour into you, but immediately they're going to want what you're carrying with you.
Yeah.
It's a place where you start pouring your life out. That act of pouring your life out, that's where you release the floods. And you always drink deepest from the river that flows out from inside, rather than the one that you get from other people.
That's true. That's true. Connect. You know, it's funny. And for men, it doesn't come natural.
No.
It's hard for us. I'm not saying all men. Most men are loners. There's an old joke in church. It says, getting men together for men's group is like herding cats. We don't like... Our wives, oh my gosh, they'll sit and talk about their feelings. They'll have some wonderful, deep conversations. We're like this. Hey, what's up going on? Hey, dude, how's it going? How's your week? You know, like this is
last time we did a show together, right? Yeah. I go home and Susan's sitting there watching TV. I walk in the door. He goes, "Hey, how's Rick doing?" I says, "Yeah, it's good." It's like, so how they where do they go for vacation? It's like, I don't know. It's like you were just sitting there talking with them for hours. You don't know nothing. It's like, so true. I don't want to know anything.
I got a story. I may have shared it already. One time, me and my wife goes to a dinner party, and it seems to happen very naturally. The women are in the house somewhere talking and laughing, and the guys end up in the backyard.
Yeah.
And so and we had a lot of fun. And on the way home, my wife says, "Oh," so she starts telling me, "Oh, my friend this and this, and so said this, and her mom said this to her." She's telling me all this detail. Then she says, "Oh, what'd you guys talk about?" Now, mind you, we're there for a few hours with a lot of friends. And I had to stop and I think, what did we talk about? I couldn't remember. It's so superficial. Then I remembered. I was embarrassed. I said, "Oh, okay, wait a minute. We had two big arguments." So what about? One was, if I fought a gorilla with a knife, could I kill it or would it kill me?
I still want to talk about that.
I'll tell you. Well, yeah, because my whole theory was I work in the medical. I know where your arteries are, and if I got to give one shot to hit an artery, and if I could survive the thumping until it bleeds out. So we had this big, long discussion about that. Then the other discussion was creating the most fiercest attack dog ever by crossbreeding a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull. So dog would have the temperament of a Chihuahua, the body of a Pit Bull. But, okay, it's funny. I'm saying this. My wife's looking at me like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. But we spent the whole night laughing. And
immediately you mentioned that cross of that dog. Now, if you just add a rabid chimp riding that dog, you got a deal that can't be broken.
But see, this is conversations guys have, I mean, and my wife's hearing about her friend and her struggles with her mother, and I'm like... But that's cool, though. There's a place for this, man. See, and the thing about guys is, we're talking about Valentine, we're talking about dudes. Okay.
Right.
We do best like this side by side.
Yeah.
If we were facing each other, this is not the most comfortable place for us.
No.
And women like the eye contact.
I'd be afraid you're going to start kissing me or something.
It's too intimate. It's way too intimate. It feels weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's funny, though. But you find a group of guys connect with. It could be over fish. It could be over anything. Shooting.
Yeah. Just don't make it over alcohol.
Yeah.
Don't make it over porn. Don't make it over something stupid and destructive.
Yeah.
Because you will bond over that.
Yeah.
They will serve that purpose. But what kind of a tribe are you going to end up with?
A bunch of broken people festering with brokenness and spreading
they're
brokenness.
just going to drag you down.
Well, let's think about it. A big thing a lot of men bond with is video games and headphones, and they cheese each other. They have these teams, they don't even know each other.
Right.
Change it to paintball. Change it to something. We got to be. Now, we don't have to mimic women in our relationships, but let's fish together. We fish together.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, you can find a lot of things that are...
We've done paintball together.
Right.
So, I mean...
Get out on the pickleball court, man. That is like red hot. The thing that really pisses me off is this thing about loneliness is a known thing. You know, it's studied, not just by church people, but by all kinds of secular people. And the big corporations are studying that too. So if you ever seen that ad that comes on where all the people in the bar are singing a Neil Diamond song.
Yeah.
And they're showing all the different kinds of people, and they're all got a drink in their hand, and the lonely girl walks in. She's looking so full of life and so full of fun. And the only thing they want you to do is get in there and buy that drink.
Yeah.
It's all about that. So they will use your loneliness to sell you alcohol.
Yeah.
And drag your butt right down to the ground. That pisses me off.
It's tragic, dude. The loneliness, this lonely generation, it's sad. And I think that what ticks me off about this is always it's commercialized. People make money when you play video games. People make money when you swipe and you're looking at YouTube or you're looking at, and there's nothing wrong with these things in and of themselves, but they want to trap you to capture so you may buy something so they can sell advertisement.
Right.
That's their whole motivation, and you're surrendering authentic relationship.
Right.
And authentic relationship is, you touched on this, it's not easy, because in the church, I've had serious arguments with dudes.
Yeah.
Serious arguments with dudes. I mean, yelling. I'm not proud to admit this, but even at the verge of going physical, and I'm not proud of that, but that's okay. It's a messy world, and messiness. Sometimes it's not the prettiest, cleanest, nicest thing.
Yeah.
But that's okay, man. Live it. That's real.
Right.
And what you're trading that risk for and the authentic relationship for is just not gonna satisfy. It's not gonna promote good health for you.
And all those things that are alternatives to real relationships, they're all designed to never fill your loneliness hole.
It's true.
Because if they ever filled it up, you would stop being a customer.
You'd move on, right? Exactly.
They're made to always make you want to climb to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, but the game never ends.
Right.
Where you get into a relationship with real people. Look, you do this in work, or you can do this in work. Go out in a construction crew. You're hanging out with guys that are, walking the roof line, and they're carrying wood, and they're making things, and they're sweating, and they're hitting their thumbs with hammers. They're all dealing with something, and something is coming out of their effort right before their eyes. That is the most rich context to form a meaningful relationship.
Yeah.
It's weakest when you're doing nothing but watching something.
Right.
So you go to a movie with a guy, he's sitting there, I'm sitting there, we're just watching what's happening, and there's not much relationship happening.
No. Yeah.
But you do something together, like the fishing, or playing a game, you can play poker with some buddies, get out and play some basketball, do something with somebody. That time spent will form lasting friendships.
Yeah.
And fill some of that hole.
So strongest recommendation, man, if you're on the side of loneliness and Valentine's is now shining this light, make some changes, make some decisions in your life. Evaluate your life. Where are my biggest relationships coming from? Oh, online? Let me, I'm hearing what people are telling me, authentic relationship is better. Let me go explore that. Let me go after that. And the reason why I like to say church is because you could find community in the bar, and I don't think it's healthy. You could find community in the wrong places that's not healthy. I highly recommend, when you surround yourself with good people, when you're going through your darkest moments or tough moments, you have friends you can call on, and you could do things. You know what I mean? Like, so, hey, let's go fishing. Hey, let's get a card game going. Let's, and let's hang out. And there's so much healing, and it's really a wonderful thing. I've had moments in life where my wife had to be hospitalized. Our phone wouldn't stop ringing. I had to shut it off. It was overwhelming.
Wow.
But at the same time, I felt so much love.
Yeah, but it wasn't for you. It was really
for my wife.
Coffee.
But and they were praying for you. And that felt so good.
Yeah.
We did not feel alone for a second. We felt overwhelmed because everyone wants to see how you're doing. What can they do? But and it's a wonderful thing. But you don't get that tribe. You have to invest yourself into it.
And, you know, to be honest with you, and we're trying to be completely honest, sometimes churches will fail you in this too.
Some churches out there, they're not good at this. They're just not.
Because they're filled up with people.
Yeah.
And people are flawed. And just because they're all the people are clumped together doesn't stop making them people.
Yeah.
The advantage is that they're all gathered together for surrounding a God that wants righteousness, goodness, love, compassion. Those are the values. They're like standing above them like a banner.
Yeah.
You want to be with people that are drawn to that want that, as opposed to the other way.
Sure.
But even so, there's a lot of times you can go into church and you're trying to get a relationship going and somebody disappoints you and they expose that's still a win. Even if you get disappointed, that's still a win because you're relating.
You're relating, you're swinging, you're taking a swing.
You come away from that with lessons. You come away from that with tips and leads and all kinds of things that will continue to grow the farm of your relationships.
Exactly. And, you know, I don't know if some of you may not be churchgoers and you don't know this. Different churches have different cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
Some churches will be all up in your business. Like, hey, dude, you know, bring it down a bit, you know.
Hyper controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other churches, they kind of don't even care who you are.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, feels that way. Look around, man. Find that right church.
The big giant churches can be very entertaining on Sunday because they have a lot of money to work with. And they can be really, really great the midweek meetings.
They try.
It just kind of depends.
Yeah.
The midweek church, the small churches can sometimes, if you show up, you're on kitchen duty that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
They're
away,
going to drag you in to do something.
Yeah, but it's all an adventure. You just got to go out and explore and be open to those kinds of things. Now, all this might land you a girlfriend and a reason to write a Valentine, okay? And maybe it won't.
Yeah.
You know? But here's the thing about Valentine's Day. St. Valentine's is dead. Okay? He's gone. He stopped caring. And all he was doing was marrying people against the will of the king who wanted to draft all the men into the army, but none of the men wanted to go because they were married.
Oh, is that the story behind it?
Yeah, so he was trying to squish marriage.
Okay.
And St. Valentine was marrying them secretly, and he ended up getting caught, and he was executed.
Oh, my gosh. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Okay.
And at least I got all that from Wikipedia, so that's got to be true, right?
It has to be true. It's Bible
but that's,
fact.
you know, don't let the day totally intimidate you.
Right.
It's going to come. It's going to pass. Just if you have somebody that is expecting to hear from you, get up there and write something boldly with your whole heart in it and show your love, expose your love. Doesn't matter if it comes back in return. Stand up and be the answer to somebody else's prayer.
If we're going to bullet point this whole conversation, I like what you said. Give a piece of yourself away.
Yeah.
Write something meaningful if you're in a relationship with someone you love. 2, I would say, and I hate to use this term, but throw a dog a bone. You find those people, your sister, your aunt, your mom, your grandma, and make it about them.
Yeah.
It's nice when you get outside yourself and think of other people. You can make even let's say you're alone. Oh, woe is me, I'm so sad. Well, why don't you take care of somebody else who's lonely and do something for them? You'd be surprised at how fulfilling it is. It feels really good. Take care of those around you, those who have good boundaries, because somehow you're going to find your way to the prettiest girl and you're married and you're giving her Valentine's because you don't want her to be lonely. Whatever, dude. No one's buying that lie. Everyone sees right through it. So don't play that game.
You know what I got coming on the 14th? My wife has a tradition. She always makes me a heart-shaped meatloaf. I get home and she's there beaming, holding that big heart-shaped steaming lump of meat.
That's awesome.
It's like, that's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah. So do something special, man. Don't wait till the last minute, but I'm guilty of that. I do wait till the last. I know what I want. It's all in my mind.
Yeah.
But to break off time and run off and get it.
Better to do it in the last minute than to never do it at all.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other thing is, if you don't have someone, and this is a season that's gonna make it clear to you, hey, I need a tribe, man. I need some bros. I need that, you know. Go to church and find the right church and develop those friends,
Yeah.
or maybe that one dude. Hey man, he's a solid dude. I respect him. I'm going to invest some time to get to know him better.
Right.
I know it sounds funky, you know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, it's not. Guys, we need companion. Even though we're weird. There's an old saying that if it weren't for our wives, we'd all live in a cave up in the hills.
Yeah.
It's kind of true. We're drawn to that for whatever reason. That lone road. I say fight that. Develop community. Find your friends.
A great way to do that is get that guy, find his number, and call him with a problem that he would know how to solve.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you say, look, you're in the accounting business. What's the best place to get my taxes done? Should I just do it myself, or do I need to get, and plumb them? Because when they feel like they are asked an easy softball question where they can really help, that feels good.
It does.
Yeah. And then it's like, I like that guy. He made me feel good.
Yeah, exactly. Or try this one, find a hill to charge. I've always said this, men bond the best when we're charging a hill together.
Yeah.
Whatever, like way back when we used to do a Christmas event at church. We recruited a bunch of dudes to hang Christmas lights, to make a tunnel of lights.
That was wonderful.
And the truth is, man, did we not get to know each other? Did we not bond?
Yeah.
It built so much community among everyone. So, hey, maybe plan a fishing trip. Maybe plan a hike to a waterfall.
Sure.
Who knows, dude? But find a hill to charge. Or, maybe.
And you know what it does is it creates a culture that I call the carnies of the church. You ever go to a carnival, there's all these guys that set up the rides, they pitch the tents, they run the booths, and they're a family together.
Yeah.
That's what you want to be. If you're going to be a part of a church, be one of the carnies.
Yeah.
One of the roustabouts that can be counted on to show up, to throw down, because you have such a rich tribe around you.
Yeah.
Man,
that's
wonderful.
And it has nuts. It has beautiful people. It has crazies. It has fun people.
And there might be a girl in there that might be interested even in you.
There you go. Even in you, right? Exactly. There really is a girl for every man out there. There is. Yeah. You just got to be brave and go out there and go for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's pray it out and run out there to the drugstore and get that Valentine quick.
I know. Better start writing.
Lord, we just lift up this dilemma. It is a tough time. And loneliness is not something that anyone should really suffer with if they are open to those answers. Because, God, you put people in families. You put people together with other people. You know how to do that. So I'm praying for every guy and girl out there that is facing this dilemma right now. Lord, prosper them and bring them into a place where their gifts will be meaningful and they will be richly rewarded in a tribe. Yes, Thank you, Father, in the name of Jesus.
In Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. We'll see y'all next time.